Oh, snap. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, my goodness. More true crime. We got some stuff to talk about. Earlier, we watched a little more than an hour of, or listened to a little bit more than an hour of the Lori Vallow Daybell trial from day 5. I have the full audio. And we're back. We're back on TikTok. Shout out to the TikTok crew over here. We're back on the Mystery Project on YouTube. Shout out to y'all watching. So let's jump into it. So we finished right at the tail end of where the detective that was investigating Charles Vallow, the fourth husband, his unalive at the hands of Alex Cox, Lori's brother. So now they're moving into talking to, bringing up onto the witness stand. Sorry, Zeluma, I think is how you pronounce it, Zeluma. So this is her brother's wife. They weren't married very long, and now I guess widow now because he also passed. But let's go. Let's take a listen. You guys, shout out to everybody coming in. You on TikTok, you can follow.
All right, let's have the jurors brought back in, and then the state can call its next witness.
I do true crime lives like this one and paranormal stuff at night. Give me a follow if you guys are into this stuff. All right, so they're bringing the jurors back in. Let's take a listen and see what they're going to talk to Zeluma about. Oh, what was that?
Idaho versus Lori Vallow.
Here we go.
States continuing
Grace,
case
thanks for
in
the
chief
roses.
presentation.
Rose gold.
Ms. Smith, if you'd like to call your next witness, you may.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state will call Zeluma Pastenes.
Very well.
Zeluma Pastenes. Ollie, thanks for the roses. No, it's so sweet on TikTok. You don't have to send the gifts, but thank you for doing that. $67 roses, Ollie. Dear Lord.
Here, I'll first advise you, Ms. Pastenes, to please make verbal responses to any questions so that we can keep a clear record. Please try to avoid speaking at the same time as anyone that's questioning you. And then I did want to inquire as to whether or not you have watched any of the testimony in this trial, either at a viewing location or in court or on the news or in the internet or anywhere.
No, sir.
You have not watched anything?
No.
Okay, thank you for that. With that in mind, then, Ms. Smith, you can inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and spell your last name.
My name is Zeluma Pastenes. Pastenes.
Okay. Ma'am, where do you live?
In Gilbert, Arizona.
Do you have any family?
Yes, I have 3 children.
And do you know someone by the name of Lori Vallow, now Lori Vallow Daybell?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know that person?
I met her in 2018.
Okay. What time of year was it?
Jubilee said no more island hopping. Maybe it's
Early fall, late fall, before Halloween or after Halloween?
Early fall.
Where did you meet her?
I met her at Melanie Gibbs' house. Melanie was having some meetings at her house. And she invited me to come and see Lori speak at that meeting.
Okay. And where was Melanie Gibbs' home at that time?
in Gilbert, Arizona, very near my house.
How did you know Melanie Gibb?
I met her when I moved into the ward where she lived at.
When you say the ward she lived at, are you talking a ward in the Church of the Latter-day Saints?
Yes, it's a boundary, the church boundaries.
Okay. And did you begin to attend services in that ward?
Correct.
So you went to Ms. Gibbs' house, and did you see the defendant there?
Yes.
Tell us about that first meeting. What happened during that first meeting?
Lori was speaking, and during this meeting, she was giving a testimony that she had had visitations of angels, and that she had visitations of the angel Moroni that was giving her instructions, and that she was a personal witness of Jesus Christ.
Okay, let me ask you a couple quick questions. When you say she was giving testimony of the visitation from angels, and specifically the angel Moroni, what did that mean to you?
When someone is getting such visitations from a heavenly being, it would mean that this person has a very high spiritual standing, someone who is very righteous.
Pause. Wait. Okay. In case I see a bunch of new people coming in, y'all, if you're not unaware of what we're talking about, so this is Lori Vallow. Hold on. I guess I did that one where it's like her. Let me get you a picture of this. There she is. There's Lori Vallow. So it's such a long story, but really she's facing charges right now. She's on trial for and I have to say unaliving because we're live on TikTok and they don't let me say the other words, which is kind of hard when you're talking about true crime, because she is on trial because she unalived her 2 kids. One was 7 years old, one was 16 years old, and conspired to unalive the 5th husband's wife, Chad Daybell. Her and Chad started believing, he was convincing her that her family members and all these people, they weren't really family members anymore. They had turned into zombies. They were like going down on this darkness scale that he said he could see. And they needed to be rid of the earth. And they had all these different demons. One was Ned, one was Hislope, one was Garrett, just a whole thing. And this lady that's testifying right now, and y'all, this is the audio from day 5 of the trial. There was no court today, and then they're going to finish talking with this lady tomorrow. But this is Zeluma, and she was married to Lori's brother, and Lori's brother is the guy he passed, and she had him cremated, supposedly from blood clots. Well, I don't know if she had him cremated, but he was cremated. But he shot and unalived her 4th husband. Her brother did. And this was the lady who was married to the brother. And y'all tell me what you think, because I have my speculations that the brother and then this lady, they really leaned into them, and like she just said, the prosecutor just said, well, what does it mean to you when a person is telling you that they're visited by these angels and that they have they've met Jesus Christ? What does that mean to you? And she's like, well, it means that they're an incredibly righteous person. They're fulfilling God's work on earth, essentially. And so I have speculations that they kind of leaned into these people and kind of, especially the brother, because he did a lot of stuff, and allegedly that I think he would have done anything that they said, because they really work them into taking over their thoughts, basically brainwashing them, just being like, because they told the brother, you're a warrior. You are going to train future warriors to fight these zombies. They're telling this lady that she's going to be blessed and going to rise to a higher level in this religion. Just listen. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And if you guys are new here, shout out. I'm streaming over on YouTube on the Mystery Project live. So shout out to everybody watching over there. And then over here on TikTok, y'all shout out. If you're new here, give me a follow. My name's Patrick. I do true crimes like this, true crime live streams like this every day. And we're trying to hit that little rose goal real quick, y'all. You want to hit that rose goal? Let's get it started. If you like the channel, help support it. Send me a rose. You don't have to, though. Don't stress. But let's keep going. So Zeluma is on the stand. Let's hear what she's got to say.
And is just, I guess, above,
Susan,
spiritually above other people.
Amy, thanks for the rose.
So during Ms. Vallow's testimony at the group at Ms. Gibbs' Hope, did you hear anything else? I thought you said something about a witness to Jesus or Jesus Christ.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So that would mean that you actually have a personal conversation, physical conversation with Jesus Christ.
And what significance did that have to you?
Big deal to them, to her. Watch.
That would be the highest spiritual experience that any human being can have.
Did she say anything else at this first meeting at Ms. Gibbs' home?
She spoke that there were angels that were putting names in the computer for her to do family work in the temple for them.
At this meeting, did you believe her?
Yes.
Okay. And
Man. Sorry, just got here. Who's speaking? So we're listening to the Lori Vallow trial. This is the audio because the judge said no cameras, so we have to listen to the audio. And this is the fifth day of the trial. And who's on the stand right now is Zulima. And she was the lady who was married briefly to Lori's brother. And she's talking about how they met. And if you're just coming in, perfect timing because we have not even started. We just started listening to this. She's just now talking about the very first time they met. So they made a hit list as such. Pretty much, Ronnie, that's kind of what they did, really. They basically took people that they didn't like, that they thought they could extract money and funds from, like the fourth husband. And all of a sudden, they were zombies. They had turned into zombies. They were evil spirits, had taken them over, and the only way to save them was to unalive them. And sorry, I'll have to say unalive because we're live on TikTok, and they don't like you saying words that are really difficult to not say when you're talking about true crime. Oh, and by the way, can we tap the screen like crazy over here, guys? Let's go for at least 10,000 likes. Come on, y'all. Tap the screen, please, and thank you. Thank you for all the gifts and the roses and the finger hearts. We're trying to get 500 roses. Can we do it, y'all? Can we do it? Let's see. Y'all tap it like crazy. And hit me with those roses if you want to. Of course, you don't have to. No stress. Okay, let's keep going. So Zulima is talking to the prosecutors, or the prosecutors are talking to Zulima, who is Alex Cox, her brother, wife, briefly.
after the meeting, did you proceed to speak with her again?
Yes.
How did that happen?
I got her phone number, and then after that, we took a trip to St. George to go to a conference together.
So between the time you met at Melanie Gibbs' house and the time you went to, did I hear St. George?
Correct?
And is St. George in Utah?
Yes.
Okay. So between those two time periods, did you have any communication with Ms. Vallow? How'd you set up the trip to St. George?
Through text and calls.
Okay.
She sounds, Dawn says she sounds extremely hesitant, like she's holding back. I think she's also very timid and very, maybe even socially awkward. And so I think she's probably like in front of all these people, in front of the jury. Lori's there watching because the judge did not allow her to leave, even though she was asking to leave. But I think that she's just like, she's kind of shy. She's kind of an introvert. And I think it was kind of overwhelming for her to be on the stand. And it might be that she feels pressured. She's like, oh, do I say this stuff? Am I supposed to say? Because Lori's looking at her, and maybe Lori's like, like, hey, who knows? Who knows? I wish we could see their faces. Y'all, I'm trying to get there. I am not that far away from Boise where this trial is being held, and I want to go and sit in on that court. It's gonna end up happening. It's gonna end up happening. Hit me with a rose. If you want to see me get up there. All right, let's keep going. And y'all, if you're new here, I see a bunch of new people in here. Y'all, take a second, hit the follow button. My name's Patrick. Welcome to the family. Shout out, welcome to the family. I do true crime lives like this every day. I do paranormal stuff as well. If you're into that kind of stuff, give me a follow. Please and thank you. I appreciate you guys. When is the Boise trial? It's been going on the last 2 weeks. And tomorrow is starting week 3. All right, guys, ready? Let's keep going.
And
Susan,
during the text and the calls, did you develop begin a friendship with Ms. Vallow?
I think it was an acquaintance at the beginning, and then during the trip to St. George,
you buy hog.
we drove there and we sat next to each other, and that's when we started talking, and that's where our friendship developed.
And tell us about the conference at St. George. What was that?
It was a Preparing a People conference.
And what's a Preparing a People conference?
It's conferences
Yes.
where they teach you how to be better prepared for anything that may happen, like a disaster, but as well as preparing you for the second coming of Jesus Christ.
And so you went to a Preparing the People conference in St. George, Utah.
Correct.
Okay. And while you guys were in the car, you guys developed you became closer and learned a lot about each other.
Correct.
All right. At the St. George conference in Utah, did you meet anybody you already had known?
Yes. Chad Daybell was there.
Okay. And how had you known Chad Daybell?
There was another Preparing a People conference in Mesa, Arizona in July of 2018, and I had briefly met him there while I purchased a couple of his books.
Okay. So then you saw him again at the St. George Preparing a People conference.
Correct.
All right. And were you aware of whether Ms. Vallow knew Mr. Daybell prior to that St. George conference?
Oh, no.
As far as I know,
Is Lori talking? No.
she did not know him until then.
Okay. So were you present when they met?
Yes.
Okay. And during that conference, how did the conference proceed for you?
I listened to a lot of the speakers. I looked at some of the table presentations, and I spoke to Chad a couple times as well.
I think this is the one where, and correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I'm pretty sure this is the conference where Lori meets Chad. And the whole thing kicks off. Don, who's the lady asking questions? So it's the prosecutor. What's her name? Lindsay Brooke, I think it is. Lori Vallow, prosecutor, is where does it say? I'm pretty sure her first name is Lindsay. What's her last name, y'all? Somebody knows. Somebody's going to type it in before I find it. It starts with a B. Lindsay Blake. Sorry. Not, what did I say? Brooke? Blake. Lindsay Blake. This is the Fremont County prosecutor. Okay. Let's keep going. Y'all, this case. Oof. So I think this is where she actually meets Chad. So let's see if they keep going in. Let's see what comes of it. And by the way, y'all, there's a bunch of people watching over here. Y'all, tap the screen like crazy. Let's go for 20,000 likes on TikTok. And give me a follow, would you? My name's Patrick. If you're new here, if you like this kind of content, give me a follow. And y'all, let's see if we can hit that rose goal. We got 123 roses trying to get 500. Let's go. If you guys want to. All right, let's keep going. So prosecutor Lindsay Blake is talking to Zeluma, and she is the lady that was married to her brother briefly for a couple of weeks, a few weeks. All right, let's keep going.
So
I guess they were friends.
was Ms. Vallow with you the entire time after she met Chad Daybell?
John, thank you for the rose.
No, she spent a lot of time at Chad's table.
And you were able to observe them together?
Yes, they were talking with each other, and
when you say talking, how did they seem to interact based on your observations?
at first it was just regular talking, and then it was obvious that Lori was very flirtatious towards him, very giggly, and putting on the moves on him.
Did you see any interactions about his books
Putting the moves on
with
him. She said putting the moves on him. Oh, man. Keep in mind, y'all, at this time, Lori Vallow is still married to Charles Vallow, the fourth husband. They have one adopted kid. That's J.J. She has the two kids from the third marriage, Colby and Tylee. And Chad's married to Tammy, and they have 5 kids. Oh, man.
Ms. Daybell or Ms. Vallow at that point?
She said she was going to stay at his table until she was going to sell all his books for him.
Oh, God.
And based on your observations, did she stay at his table a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
How did the conference end?
Oh, no. Hang on, y'all. I made a grave error. I forgot there's a marathon of content going on right now on the main YouTube channel. Uh-oh. How am I going to remedy this situation? How am I going to remedy this situation? Hold on. All right, y'all, hang on. Mystery Project. I'm going to have to end this one, guys. Come hang out on